likes, notifications, and status updates. You've either felt the thrill of anticipation about your own Facebook profile with these familiar words or have been living under the proverbial rock. Facebook has altered the way we function and how. Most marketers, of course, have been waxing eloquent about the advertising potential of the medium and the growth that they foresee. But BGM's highly publicized decision to cut its advertising spends on the site, or the growing number of cynical advertisers asking for tangible measurables, every marketer's paradise may just have proved itself to be fool's gold. Is Facebook advertising then really the next big thing, or have over-enthusiastic brands jumped the gun? Nikita Saxena decodes this one.
I'm CEO, bitch. These lines may have been the whim of a 19-year-old Harvard graduate student, but today with more than 800 million users, a whopping 100 billion plus valuation, and a NASDAQ listing, they sound more like the declaration of an idea. An idea whose time had come. Facebook didn't just redefine the internet, it redefined social spaces. An ever-growing user base, captive audience, and endless possibilities.
What we think the need is for a modern messaging system.
Mark Zuckerberg's brainchild was every marketer's dream come true. But with a much-hyped IPO that failed to make a mark, and GM's decision to pull out its $10 million worth advertising from Facebook, the relationship between the social network and bemused advertisers could best be described as it's complicated.
It came from Facebook's own presentation, which sort of emphasizes that there's a line of demarcation between the part of Facebook that you can pay for and the part of Facebook that's free. And they promote both sides, and they do a very good job of promoting the free side, and I think Joel just went, I think I only need the free side.
GM's decision of not advertising but continuing to invest in content to engage with their audience is the future. So once brands have acquired a sizable community on Facebook, how do you keep them engaged? How do you keep them talking to you? The only way out is content. So I think what they've realized is that instead of putting $10 million in advertising, they'd rather put $10 million in content.
Optimistic marketers are shouting themselves hoarse about the promise and the gold mine of information this medium offers. 8 years since its launch, and the potential remains just that, potential. Sponsored stories and desktop ads on Facebook find few takers among users who come to the site for everything but product information and advertising. A space where the primary aim of the user is social interaction, in-your-face ads inspire indifference at best and irritation at worst. In a classic catch-22, it's the inherent nature of the website that allows marketers to garner exposure and engagement for their brands without exorbitant investments into Facebook's run-of-the-mill advertising tools.
We as a brand have never felt the need to advertise on Facebook, because we don't think that Facebook is an advertising medium. It is a medium for interacting with the consumer and exchanging information with the consumer. If you look at Facebook, even they themselves have made the page very much for interaction and not for advertisement. Unlike other sites where, the ad pops up right in front of you or right at the top, Facebook has an ad which is limited to a very small size, and it's also in a very discreet position, and so it's not very much in your face.
When a consumer presses like, he will get to see the brand's message. But if you start bombarding him with direct sales pitches out there, he will start ignoring you. Now, he does not have to unlike you, but if he starts ignoring you for a couple of weeks, then Facebook's EdgeRank algorithm kicks in and they will stop showing you the brand's messages. So even though you have 1 lakh fans on your fan page, your message will reach an abysmally small number.
In a recent study conducted by Reuters, 35% of the users were spending lesser time on Facebook, and 4 out of 5 Facebook users said they had never bought a product because of advertisements on the site. Neither Facebook nor its countless marketeers can assess the advertising dollars being converted into potential customers, simply because they have no idea either. As the site had lurched from one advertising model to another in the past 5 years, it's also struggling to come up with a revenue mechanism that can quantify for marketers exactly what their advertising spends are achieving, making it unaccountable and for smarter brands less credible.
How do you attribute a final purchase to Facebook is not just a Facebook issue, it's a general marketing issue from a media ROI perspective. So how do you remodel a certain final eventual purchase to Facebook or to an offline ad or to a print ad is really going to be critical in terms of defining the next level of marketing analytics to my mind. If it's just another brand message, then Facebook advertising is definitely not the way to go. Because again, it's a push mechanism, and on Facebook you don't want to be pushed with more information. You already have a news feed you can barely keep track of.
Touted as Google's closest competitors, the figures indicate that Facebook has a lot of catching up to do. The click-through rate for ads on Facebook at 0.05% compared to Google's 0.4% and a reach of 90% of all internet users versus Facebook's 51%, resulting in advertising revenues of $1.06 billion compared to Google's $2.09 billion in the first quarter are telling of the disparity. While the social networking site is constantly reinventing itself, the dedication to their users' privacy and experience has only added to existing conflict between balancing their marketers' interests and commitment to users. Add to this the growing number of users who are accessing the internet through their mobiles. Users that Facebook, by its own admission, hasn't been able to monetize due to a non-delivery of mobile advertisements, resulting in a huge loss of revenues for both the site and its advertisers.
We've seen that the traffic of users on the mobile advertising site is increasing by the day, by the month. We also find extremely good click-through rates for all forms of mobile advertising that we do. So clearly, there is an increase in consumption of ads through the mobile, platform, and very specifically the smartphone platform. So that's really something that you cannot ignore.
We as advertisers and agencies took our brands onto Facebook. The basic idea was this is a social channel. You're earning your media. So whether I have done engagement, I have done contests, or I've done marketplace ads, and I have acquired, if that is the right word to use, 100,000 fans, then every day when I'm making my status updates, it should reach a large percentage of these fans, at least if they've logged in, without me having to pay money. That was the premise on which we got onto Facebook. Today, if you're saying that good that you have 100,000 fans, but I'm sorry, nobody's going to see the updates which you're making, so you have to pay money to rank ahead of the other guys, so that people get to see, your own fans get to see what you have to say. Then there is a moral dilemma. Was this why we got onto Facebook? Because if this was something that they had said upfront 2 years back, then maybe we wouldn't have invested on Facebook in the first place.
The world's largest social networking site is convinced that metrics like conversions and click-through rates are futile for a branding platform like theirs. The fact that branding on Facebook has also become the latest buzzword is indicative of a similar thought process amongst its many advocates. But branding could also be just the kind of abstraction that is a comforting thought for advertisers who are confused about a presence on which they are spending far too much and getting far too little. Immediate results and short sales may be a little too much to expect of Facebook, but the question that most marketers are asking right now is, can we expect anything at all?